entering a world of realization in exact infinite balance.
Infinite balance. Giving you that energy from the cosmos to your centers flows. Star seeds, star souls, wagwan. So, what we want preached here today is to say something. Don't keep quiet in what you want to say and what you want to express. The late Tupac Shakur and the late Tupac Shakur's mother. Tupac Shakur's mother had said something when she was first raising, Tupac. And one thing that she taught Tupac is, from her words, is to never be quiet. Always speak your truth. Always express how you're feeling about any situation, right or wrong. Because that way it comes out and it makes you feel satisfied that you at least expressed how you feel. Now, what we are talking about right now is basically the same thing. Express yourself. Be you. We don't know, in today's society, a lot of people need to keep, or they believe they need to keep their voice quiet because they feel if they say something, bad things are gonna happen, whether it's losing a job or being demoted or being put in another position that they don't want to be in. But say something, express yourself. What if I told you that, for me personally, when I became more self-expressionist, if that's a word, when I started to speak more, a lot more positivity came my way. And that is because I was being my authentic self. I was being, as the kiddies them say, real. I was expressing myself to the fullest, to the extent that I want to, which is full. And from my journey, we know to say that when I did that, a lot more, again, positivity came my way. And in my personal opinion, it's because I was being authentic. I was never being rude with how I expressed myself. I expressed myself in what they call a kind way. But that being said, I did express myself. And you out there, especially if you want to get to your highest version of yourself, be expression. Sorry about that. Express yourself more. There you go. Because when you do that, it brings a different type of resonance. And believe it or not, you're respected a lot more from other people then. But what's interesting about that, even if you're not respected more, at least you're being your truth. Let me tell you another story right here, son. We know to say that even though in the spiritual community, we're all supposed to be one. We're all supposed to be one nation under the groove. However, there's one channel where I more or less expressed how I felt about the situation. And it wasn't so much of the person of the channel itself, but was the followers there. They more or less came into an attack of me for me expressing how I feel. Now I know when there's different interpretations you can that people take when you're expressing yourself. So for me, I lay it down like literally. I'll put in brackets in a calm way. I'm saying this, or interestingly saying this, or happily writing this. I make sure the person that's reading it knows that I am not being malicious. I'm being creative. I'm asking questions. Because you always ask questions about things that you don't feel so. Even though these people are the biggest gurus. And saying that with the biggest ones, for the most part, they're not gonna answer because of the follows they have, and they get multiple thousands of replies or whatnot. But I just find it interesting that other people came about their way thinking I was being, malicious in what I was saying when I was just speaking my truth. But that being said, you don't feel type of way because say the way I was speaking for education value. And basically the question was, this person talked about Jesus, Yeshua, however you want to call him. I'm not going to go to that controversy over there, but a question about how even him, he got angry and threw chairs. Then my simple question from that was, how did this person know that? Unless that person was actually there. After some other person replied, well, I forgot what exactly that person said. But another person replied, oh, because of spirit guides talking to her, something around those lines. Then my question was, then how do they know they're giving her the right information? Beverly says a nice question, but after that we never hear nothing. So anyways, what I'm preaching right now, if you want to say preach, or putting some education down, or just trying to be real to you, is to get higher in life, to become the highest version of yourself. You need to sometimes say things that a lot of people didn't want to hear. Sometimes you gotta say something that a lot of people will get angry, but at the same time, if you're being your authentic self, true people, they'll understand where y'all come from. And they'll take that, whether it's criticism or a difference of opinion, they won't take it as malicious. They won't take it to heart in a negative way. It will make them think in a different perspective if you give them that type of perspective type of question or answer to a particular type of question. Don't say that in this matrix here, the system, they don't want nobody asking no questions. It's more like you would do it our way, or you're going to the highway, or you're going to some other place. You're going into the Lake Ontario there, going for a swim. By the way, look at that view to this stuff, So anyway, when it comes to being, just say something, being authentic, being just loud, and when I say loud, making people know how you feel about something. Me going through my journey, before I went through my particular awakening, I was somewhat quiet. I was expressive with some things, but a lot just quiet, because for me it's just, I didn't want to get into that situation and let that person do what he's doing and I just go about my way. But I noticed that during my awakening, I became more expressive, more talking about how I feel about something. I noticed for me particularly, there was a lot more respect, and believe it or not, a lot more love came my way, with other people agreeing with what I'm saying, which is very interesting in itself. Because my past self would always think that whenever I'm speaking, that no one would agree, and in a way, and I'll feel in a way kind of like down about that. But during my awakening, when I just didn't care about what people thought, all of a sudden, a lot of people, kind of like gravitated towards me, saying, you know what, this person make a good point about that. And don't you say, for instance, on a certain particular YouTube channel where a person said, you know what, I respect this person's YouTube channel and I watch this person a lot, but I gotta say, you make a valid point on what you're saying, which was big respect upon itself. So no say when you reflect upon yourself and you just be you, be who you want to be, that a lot of people may not agree with you per se, but there's always going to be that select few that will agree with you. And even the people that don't agree with you, they know where you stand. And a lot of times they will respect what you're saying. Say something. Star seeds, star souls, wagwan. Up here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. This is me expressing myself to all you star seeds, star souls out there. You know, say a lot of people have a lot of things just crammed up inside. They don't want to express it. Another thing about expression and expressing yourself, it does cause stress levels too. When you keep things bottled up, then it finally explodes. Cause high amount of stress, whether you're about to go to bed, or you may be making some food later on and it's just scratching your mind like a popcorn shell in your teeth. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to saying something, star seeds, star souls, even the duck in the water, even the dog down my bark, people in this area just being fully expressionist and expressing how they feel about whatever it is they're doing. A beautiful day out here, close to what they say, Easter. So star seeds, star souls. Know say that when there's expression going on, when there's a situation going on that you don't feel right, you don't feel good about, be you, be yourself, be an authentic person that you want to be, because if you don't be that and you keep everything bottled up, you never know how people feel about something. You never know how people feel about how they feel, how you feel about a certain situation. And you never know whether they may like it, or at least they will respect what you're saying. So be sure. Anyway, you can like this, share this, be one with this, be happy with this, like the dog there rolling up in the sand. Be happy like the duck them in the water. So again, like and share. So everybody from the north, south, east, and west, stay blessed, and more blessed. Cheese up here, another beautiful day.
Choose the blue pill. Go to bed. Wake up. Have a blessed day. And let society control your reality.